Get ready to take a look behind the scenes and enter the impossible for the Between Two Minds podcast with our hosts, Judge Mentalist and Bernardo Rodriguez. Can they really tell you what you're thinking?
Good afternoon, everybody. This is Judge Mentalist. It is the next iteration or installment of our Performing Hypnosis Summit preview interviews. I know that we had, with holidays and some travel of mine, so a couple of weeks where we weren't doing these, and now we're back at it. And we are coming up on the 1 month mark until the start of the 2025 Performing Hypnosis Summit, which is super exciting. If you have not made arrangements to attend, if you haven't registered, if you haven't gotten the hotel, if you haven't booked your flights, it's time to really start thinking about that, because as we have mentioned in the previous interviews, and this one I suspect will be no different, this is, if you are a performing hypnotist, this is the #1 go-to conference. But if you are an entertainer of any type, there is so much value. And I've said this on episodes before. I'm going to say it on this one because it is going to be clear and apparent that you don't have to specifically be a hypnotist to get a ton of value out of the Performing Hypnosis Summit. If if you're a magician, for example, and you're used to going to conferences and conventions and learning methods and learning subtleties and the way to do tricks, basically, there's not a ton of that happens at PHS. We talk about the business of performing hypnosis, and with me, I have, and I'm excited to announce and introduce Richard Barker, one of the greats, who's going to be talking to us about exactly that, how to really market your entertainment show. So, Richard, welcome. And
thank you.
For anybody who doesn't know who you are, doesn't know your history, because again, my goal is to get this out to more performers who might not be hypnotists because of how much value is there. Let's get a little history on you.
I have to say, first and foremost, I do like what you said, because in the intro, the skills are very transferable, and I know that there is some thought, and I don't know what you think about this, but I do believe that every hypnotherapist or clinical consulting hypnotist needs the skills on the stage, and they also, of course, need the business skills. So what I've done is I focus most of my career on the stage, and I do have a clinical hypnotherapy practice, which I have now moved all online. So the whole thing is on Zoom. I do see clients occasionally when they really, really want to, and I charge them extra for the privilege. But I do my level best to make it all online, just because it's easier. But yeah, any hypnotherapist, really, if you're watching this and you're just beginning your stage journey, or even if you just want to learn some skills for how to dominate a room, capture a room, be the life and soul of the party for 20 minutes with a couple of convincers, it's definitely worth coming to the Performing Hypnosis Summit for sure. I do a lot of marketing now, so I do a lot of coaching, training for hypnotists to scale and elevate their stage business, their show business is what I end up doing the most of these days.
Yeah, and I mean, you mentioned the hypnotherapists. Even if you're not interested in performing long term, imagine this: you run a hypnotherapy practice. What if I told you that you could fill a room with 100 or more potential leads for your hypnotherapy business and show them the power of what you can do in an hour?
Yeah.
And then, of course, lead them into potentially booking with you. What would you do if you had access to 100 or more leads? And when you're doing a stage show, if the mentality and the mindset is right, you are standing on stage in front of 100 or more potential leads for your hypnotherapy practice. And that's if you're doing, smaller to mid-sized theaters. I mean, if you do cruise ships, you get 1,000 or more people.
I was going to say on the flip side, if you are a hypnotherapist and you're watching this by chance, get to know your stage hypnotists, because we do shows in front of thousands of people sometimes.
Yeah.
And the number one question people ask us after the show, other than was that real, the most questions that people ask is, does this help with, and then insert their problem. Stop
Exactly.
smoking, weight loss, removing fears and phobias. And what I've learned is when I do a show nowadays, like you said, I get hundreds of referrals, and I point them all to my downloadable products, but I also point them to hypnotherapists in their town. So I do spend quite a lot of time, farming out all these leads to other hypnotherapists around the country, just because I don't have the time to set up the appointments, one-on-one. So it's a massive entrance to hypnosis by what we do. So the stage show is the gateway to what is possible for the rest of the journey that they might have with hypnosis.
For sure. And I'll tell you, so the Michigan Hypnosis Conference back in September was the first blended conference that I have attended. And I made so many connections. And in, let's see, it's December. So September was 3 months ago. I've probably in that time frame, and and in this time frame, I've been doing far more private shows, not my big public shows, because holiday season and parties and things like that. But even in that course of time, when I'm not doing as many public stage shows, I want to say that I have managed to refer out somewhere between 10 and 12 hypnotherapy clients to folks that I met at the Michigan Hypnosis Conference. And it's just, so if you're trying to do both, or you've created that synergy with a performer and a hypnotherapist, or wherever you are on that scale, it can be super, super powerful. So what will we have the pleasure of learning from you at the 2025 Performing Hypnosis Summit?
So I'm excited to go. I haven't been to a convention for a good few years because I've been so bloody busy with my schedule that going to a convention really means I need to block stuff out way ahead of time. And Jim and Grant have done a fabulous job of really projecting with so much time, in advance the summit. So I've been able to come, and what I'm going to do is I'm giving some talks, I guess during the summit itself, some talks on marketing and how to improve your bottom line, how to become more profitable than you might be at the moment, with a couple of strategies and tactics that I use doing shows. So that will be, I think it's 45 minutes or an hour somewhere. And then the post convention, and this is a little bit strange because there's a post convention. Because my marketing class that I'm running, the post convention, is sandwiched between the ICBCH and Performing Hypnosis Summit, so it sits in the middle. So I've managed to get people from both sort of organizations, but on that 2-day, instead of just having a lecture or a seminar about hypnosis, it's actually an implementation. So it's taken you from marketing, like how to create AI lead magnets or how to produce blogs that scale and get you more attention online. But then we actually go ahead and do it using all the tools. And I know a lot of people, some people, or not a lot of people, but some people have said, isn't that just like doing a chat GPT prompt and sort of getting a blog and then just editing it and uploading it? It's not. It's way deeper. You're talking about custom language models that are actually specifically trained and designed to write hypnosis blogs for entertainment. So it's a really more detailed sort of deep dive into it, and then how to actually take this information and then turn it into getting more attention on social media, more attention on Google, scaling out your brand by being more discoverable, if you will, and then what to do when you are more discoverable, which of course is all the lead nurturing. Some people are very good at getting leads and getting visitors and followers, but they're not very good at handling them, and because life takes over. So you can do that in an organized, automated way. And the things I'm going to teach you, I can promise you've never seen before.
This here, I don't even know what that pre/post/post is. But you mentioned something in there that I have not talked to any other hypnotist about. I use this. My day job is I'm an attorney.
Nice.
And you said magic words to my ears, which I implement on a regular basis in my law practice and have not started using yet in the entertainment hypnosis business. And that is lead magnets. It's not just getting somebody's contact information. That's step one. We can all do that. But you, like you said, are nurturing a client base and a customer base so that you will always work when you want to work. You can turn this on, you can turn this off when you want to. If you need traffic, pump it. If you need a break, scale it back. And it is designed to be, I mean, I don't know how deep you're getting into this, but this is some brilliant stuff where you start to learn, and the systems are getting so much better and so much more advanced with this, where they literally can tell what the person is spending the most time reading in the email that you've sent them.
You know how good this is? I got to say this because I get super excited. People ask me, what are you excited about in life? Is it travel? Is it intimacy with your partner? Is it no, it's this. This is what floats my boat. And I know it sounds strange, but I'd rather do this than, I don't know, be on a speedboat or something. You know, this gives me the thrill. It's so good right now that, let's say you do send them an intelligent AI lead magnet, which is all customized and personalized to them. It's not just some crappy ebook that you've sent or some, horrible quiz that's got nothing to do with them. This is personalized to the inquiry that they made for your show and your services. You know what it can do now? I don't know if you've bumped into this. So as they're reading this thing or whatever, or interacting with this thing, because it could be asking them questions that prompts them to go to the next page, or a survey or a workbook, or a little bit of audio that they have to listen to, or they watch a video and it stops and it goes question 1, 2, and 3 before the video continues. So it's interactive. But what I like about this is when they click on something like that, the audio, the button, the next page, it can fire off an automation trigger that then knows that they did it, which is what you're saying. But then it can then send them a text message or an email or a ringless voicemail to then say, hey, Judge, congratulations for clicking, for getting this far, or congratulations on listening to my audio, or I can't believe you got onto page 4. Well done. So it's, the nurture sequence is so much deeper than just a passive, because what it used to be is we give a lead magnet just for somebody's name and email address. But now we're giving the lead magnet to harness them on a lifelong journey of becoming aged and ascended up your value ladder to becoming, the plan is, a lifelong client. This one show is not one and done. We want to keep them in the loop by getting them into the referral program, getting into the repeat program, getting them as an affiliate or as a partner, as a sales machine. And it all comes from the AI approach to lead magnets. I had to jump in there because you said a few things that triggered me, and it was like, oh yes.
And okay, so let's circle back to what we first opened with. We talked about how hypnotherapists should start doing stage shows as a way to cultivate leads. Let's say that you, the hypnotherapist, have zero interest. I couldn't, if I offered you to do a stage show versus jump off of the deck of a cruise ship to sudden death, you'd be up on the top deck of that ship. This stuff can be used to cultivate leads that are never meant for entertainment purposes. As I mentioned, the bulk of me using this is with my law practice. And let's just say, comparing apples to apples here, or apples to oranges, or wherever it is, my law practice is the sugar daddy that allows me to go all over the country and do these shows. So that it has worked in a totally different, it's not just for entertainment. It can totally, I mean, obviously you're going to teach it in a direction that's geared toward entertainment, but all of these skills are easily translatable to other formats, to other business models, even whether it's hypnosis or not. Like super, super valuable stuff. And a tool that if you stay on top of it as it continues to evolve, because it used to be, 10 years ago when I started doing lead magnet work, it was crappy PDF of a book that I wrote about a topic that you might care about and maybe you'll never read, but now I've got your info and it takes you down this journey. It was far less personalized.
And I just want to say this as well for people, that this isn't advanced. And so what's happened is, for the 100 systems that broke, didn't work, didn't convert, and I'm not teaching any of the 100 that I've already had the pain of going through. What I'm teaching is only the stuff that is in the real world working for me, not like 6 months ago, but today, in fact, tomorrow. And also, if you can follow simple instructions and directions, just like you're asking your volunteers to do on a stage, and you can follow where I'm clicking on my mouse, like in the workshop, you can have a system created that is going to serve you well, not only now, but it's going to future-proof itself, because I'll be doing the updating for you. You'll just be able to have the system that works. So I know it might all sound complicated, like, well, what is a lead magnet? What is a funnel? And a nurture sequence? What does that mean? And how many emails or texts, or, what does this all mean? But what if I actually had a box, gave it to you, and just said, here's a key, put it in there, turn it, and it's on. Get the key, turn it, and it's off. So, but when you turn it on, get ready, because you're going to get a bunch of leads coming in, but don't worry, they're going to be nurtured automatically. But at some point, as a human, you are going to actually speak to them directly.
Right.
You are going to actually have to interact with these leads, because eventually you need to take their money and show up and do the gig. So be careful, because when you turn this on, the way I'm setting this up, and this is what you'll learn on the workshop, we set it up together. So I put this on your computer, your laptop. You do need to show up with a laptop, and I make sure that when you get the laptop and you take it home, it's just as much as taking out your toothbrush and brushing your teeth. It's that simple, because I've learned over the years, and I've been teaching marketing a long time. I've learned over the years that if I don't do this and create a systemized approach and make it templatized, and it's all templates. If I don't do this, then I know when you get home and go back to your own place and life takes over, within a blink of an eye, another shiny object comes along, and before you know it, you're like, well, sorry, what was that at that workshop? And you've already forgotten. So I know that that's not the way to do it. So if you're an action taker, you will get rewarded. And if you prefer implementation over just talking for months and months and months, then you're going to get immediate results. But you obviously need to be in it to win it, and come to the workshop, of course, to make it happen.
For sure. Well, that sounds incredibly fantastic and valuable for anybody that wants to take that opportunity. Awesome. I'm not going to keep you too long here. PerformingHypnosisSummit.com, or there's a link that's in the description here that'll take you right there to register if you somehow haven't already. Richard Barker is going to teach you this amazing stuff, and it's just the main conference itself is 3 days chock full of incredibly valuable information. Obviously, the pre and the post, and the post, which is also a pre for another conference, very, very valuable as well. Those are add-ons, definitely worth exploring and looking into. Anything else to share with the audience before we let you go?
I just think it's affordable, right? I think I was speaking to Jim. It's like $100 a night in the hotel, or maybe even less. And flying to Vegas is never really that expensive. I think the 3-day summit ticket is low. I mean, it's affordable, right? It's not a lot of money for. So if you're in the business of show business, you do have to invest in your business, and one of the ways is to surround yourself with the people that are doing today what you want to do tomorrow, and surround yourself with mentors, coaches, and just good people. Like, surround yourself with people doing shows. And of course, the good news with this one is they're all going to be at the same place in Vegas at the same dates.
Exactly.
So it is a win-win for everybody. And if you can't make it, I'm not sure if there's replays and things like that, but if there is, you want to be signing up for those as well, and make sure you sort of access that. And even just like, just mingling and interacting away from the classes, like in the evenings and just at lunchtime. And there's so much gold in that, because that's how you pass each other show gigs. It's kind of how you give each other leads, isn't it? And tips, and you just sit with someone over lunch or something, and then you really get to know them, and then you either create a lifelong friend or realize you never want to talk to the person ever again. You know, you at least you've made that.
But the info is valuable either way, right?
Either way, you can't lose. It's a good exercise to have. Yeah. So I'm looking forward to meeting you, brother.
Absolutely.
In Vegas. I know it's going to be very, very cool. And I know that, you know, the hotel's still there to book. The workshops are still there to book. So if you're in any doubt, jump on and get them all booked up. And we'll see you in Vegas.
Fantastic. All right. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time. PerformingHypnosisSummit.com or the link that is in the description here. We'll see you on the next one. We'll see you in Vegas.
Thank you for tuning in to the Between Two Minds Behind the Scenes podcast. Be sure to follow us on social media under Between Two Minds with the number 2 instead of TWO, or under Enter the Impossible. Thank you, and we hope to see you back for the next episode.